Hey guys, welcome to Crypto Casual. I've also started a new part of Crypto Casual, which is Crypto Esoterica. So if you want to click over to those, I'll let my editor set that up because I don't know how to do it, but he'll set you up where you can just click over and go over and watch those. It's more esoteric information or secret information of understanding electromagnetism and the new evolution of what's happening with the consciousnesses of all humans. And the new metaverses and stuff. But in Crypto Casual, we keep it about 80% crypto and about 20% esoterica. So a little more hitty in this one. The other one's a little more heart and soul, and this one's a little more left-brainers. Part of Crypto Casual, I haven't made a video in a while, but Crypto Casual is just about the spirituality of BTC or consciousness of BTC. Bitcoin is consciousness 2.0 for me. And understanding that it's just energy, consciousness is just energy, and it's up to us to form that energy. Then we can formulate ideas and study and do our research and then buy the cryptocurrencies that we feel are going to be the best. And a lot of the ones that I buy that are very successful are connected to esoteric origins. So if you study the esoteric origins or study esotericism, then you'll understand cryptocurrency because it's just energy. And you'll understand a lot better, and you'll make quicker picks and better picks than just randomly just picking crap coins or shat coins, as they say. So basically, we're going to look at cryptocurrencies as a reformatting of energy or Reformation. So in the 1700s, when we had Martin Luther had the Reformation, it basically took the power out of the church and made it a one-on-one conversation with God. In my last video of Esoterica, we talked about conversing. So take a look at that video. We'll put a link down below. But as well, the Reformation was about just reforming ions, and that's exactly what's happening right now. We're taking the power out of certain entities and we're bringing it back to ourselves so we can have a one-on-one relationship with energy, i.e. Bitcoin cryptocurrencies. Basically, for me, it's the BTC is just the binary true consciousness. It's the true or unadulterated, unbased, or in regular financial markets, they debase a currency over time and it's worthless by printing more and just taking more power away from you, the individual who has to trade your electrical energy for it. So in cryptocurrencies, we can do little work and make large gains. And it's not about just living in the speculative world, because the governments are, and the feds and all are overprinting money, which is taking more power, buying power out of your hands, making commodities more expensive, so you have to work more hours just to get the same that you did last year. And so we want to move our energy into that which serves us best. So for me, Bitcoin cryptocurrency is not really speculative, it is the investment into a new energy. And how I choose to form that energy is on me. So for me, it's not speculative. I'm not speculating on the ions. I am creating a consciousness, a conversation with cryptocurrency. Does that make sense? So my electrical, bioelectrical, chemical, and energy is in alignment with the frequencies of cryptocurrency's energy, that it's producing the frequencies. If that doesn't make sense, that's okay. Watch the other videos. So for me, humans, the consciousness is aligning, and the Bitcoin and the ecosphere and the metaspheres and all that stuff is just showing us it's the first formation out of the Reformation's first formation, which is the financial industry, that for most people is the escape from slavery, financial slavery. So for me, we humans are going into Homo illuminus, or from the scientific term, it's meta-humans, you'll hear that term, or transhumanism. So it's an integration of technology. For me, that's neither good nor bad, it just depends. If you're missing a limb or your limb's not working or you got an ailment inside your body, nanites can come in there and look at the frequency and change the frequency. Is that good or bad? It's up to you. Can someone take advantage of that and control you? Absolutely. So again, like any other technology, can be used in the power of anyone's hands. So for us, we want to share the wealth. We want to help others become free. Crypto Casual is just about know how to live a simple and rich life, not a complicated and poor life, but a very simple and rich life. And it's to successfully financially grow to a better person, to help those who do need through knowledge, education, sometimes money. We can donate money to other people, but again, we don't want to just keep giving them fish, we want to give them fishing poles. And so it's about a personal growth framework to help you understand who you are so you can better make conscious decisions when buying cryptocurrencies, and not from fear, but from knowledge, from wisdom. So we'll look at that. So we'll get into some of the financial and life strategies, and basically our chart of the day basically will show you what Bitcoin's doing in a real, I'm not going to give you technical stuff on that. I'm just showing you what's going on and how Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are going up. I'll give you a little bit of the news of the day. I'll give you a framework, esoteric framework, a real short one, and then I'll give you my influence or person of the day as well. That'll help you be who you are to become better. So we're looking at the Bitcoin chart. I'm on the 4-hour, and we can notice that we're sort of going a little bit sideways right here, but let me put it on the daily. We can get a better picture of what's been happening with Bitcoin. So you can see slowly we've been going up and up and up. And so we're basically creating what we call a bull flag. And then with each little flag, we go up a notch, a little flag forms, we go up again. And then right here we dropped down a little bit, but I think it's another flag. So I think we're about to bust out of that and probably beat the all-time high and start heading to about 72, 74. Next time when we do the chart, I'll have all my lines drawn out. I just don't have that one pulled up. I normally have all my lines drawn up. But just know that for right now, our charts as Bitcoin is going up. We may have little dips in between here and there, but just know overall it's just going to continue to go up and up and up. Let me show you the weekly real quick, and you can get a better picture of what's been happening. And so over the last couple weeks, you can see Bitcoin has definitely been, we were down for a while, we came up, created this little Bart Simpson, and then reverse Bart Simpson, then we went back up again. So we're right at the same line. If you can see my cursors, you can see we're equally with that line right now, and that line will eventually break out and we'll hit up to, we'll have some resistance around $70,000, up and down, down, up, and then also we'll break through and we'll hit around 72 to 74. That's in the, and we should probably maybe hit 70, I would say 76 to about 80,000 by the end of November. So for all those who are trying to cost average, that'll be great for you. Those who are trying to trade it, just be cautious of being liquidated because there can be some serious drop, some volatility. But for now, that's enough to give you an idea of what's going on with Bitcoin. And if you want to wait for the dip to come in, or there may not be a dip, and just cost averaging like we've been talking about. And then as far as the news of the day, I thought was interesting is, and this was brought to you by Altcoin Daily. And he was bringing this up, and this is where I found it as well. But Nike has already bought land in Sandbox, but Nike just came out today, and if we can read this, it's a little blurry on mine right now, but you'll be able to download. Nike is getting into it now, where they're going to open up their stores inside there, so you can buy virtual goods. Right? I'm sure they'll have a link to real goods, but you're buying virtual, because the inside, how you look inside, is more important to a lot of people than who you are sitting behind that computer. But if you got the hottest Nike shoes, you got the garb, the clothes and whatnot, and you're strutting around with this because we know how much some of these NFTs cost, you have more of an influence, just like people do on the outside who drive Mercedes and wear Rolexes and stuff. Right? We look at them differently. And then it's going to be no different in the metaverse, and more people will put more money into their avatar than they will their own personal life. Because because of the way the world's going, a lot of us are sitting at home right now, and we're just on our computers and we're just talking to people, our friends, or digital friends. So it's interesting that Nike came out with this article yesterday. It said it'll have downloadable virtual goods, namely computer programs featuring footwear, clothing, headwear, eyewear, bags, sports bags, backpacks, so on and so forth. So the retail store services featuring virtual goods, namely, that's the same thing over. But anyway, so Nike is coming in. You can look this up, but Nike's coming in. They've already bought land, and now they're going to start setting up their verse to where you can actually go in there and buy some of this stuff and walk around the universe with the hottest Nike digital footwear or clothing. So I thought that was an interesting piece of news. So basically, that was the charts and the patterns today. Again, just briefly in the news of the day. So basically, what's happening is there is a digital reformation happening today. We're reforming the ions, reforming the energy that's coming into us, and we're using that newfound consciousness to create the newfound metaspheres. And it's the metasphere where the future is headed. So to buy NFTs. I'm not a financial advisor, but what I'm doing is I'm buying the DeFi tokens. I'm buying the certain NFTs that then have behind them gaming, and then we're going to go into gaming and then eventually into the metaverses. So buying land right now in the metaverses is key. Gemini just came out with theirs called Cube. And once you go into these lands, you can buy the lands up, and we're so early that we're just buying the real estate. Disney went out into the swamps of Florida and said, I'm buying all this land, and they thought he was a kook. Long story short there, Disney is all over the world, and it's the #1 media in the entire center, but he bought land, raw land. So we are, in essence, because of the Reformation, we're moving into is that we're buying digital land, and that real estate's going to be worth more than the outside land. So see that coming in. So basically, we are changing into what I talked about earlier about Homo Illuminus or transhumanism, depending on the shot or whatever. We're augmenting our lives to live in the metaverses. Eventually, we'll just have glasses that look like normal glasses, but we'll be operating the augmented reality through those verses. There's technology coming out where you can recognize, I'll have facial recognition, where you can tell someone's credit score and everything walking around. It's all going to be one verse. That's down the road. That's 10 years down the road or so, but just know that we're changing as humans. Our consciousness, our brainwaves are changing into cellular incrementa, if you will. And so we're becoming these spiritual energies, but digital. I think someone once framed it digital spirituality or something like that, but you get my point. So basically, the whole world's changing. The currency, the financial system, the currency that we know, what we call money, which is dollars, which is not real money because it's not backed by anything. It's still a currency. A currency is an electrical current. And so the old currency is just low vibrating. It cannot handle or stay, so it's going to have to deconstruct itself, or we talked about the adversity in the crypto esoteric video where it's breaking down. And so what comes out of disorder is order, or chaos to order. And so what we're coming into is just a new currency, a real currency of electrical currency, digital currency, and that's going to be real money, hard money. From that, it has a built-in deflationary, which means it only the value of it keeps going up. It's not going to get debased. So you have more buying power in the new cryptoizational world, or the metaverse, or Earth as we're calling it now. So we're in Earth, but we're going into meta-Earth. Because our brain waves will now perceive life differently. Our brains will be developed because we're looking in headgear all the time and living in that world. So our brain will change according to its environment, if you study psychology. So basically, we're going to have a supernatural mind. We're getting closer as beings to getting back into our supernatural reality, if that makes sense. We're going back from the 7 consciousnesses and going back into God, and then frequency-wise getting back into the hierarchy of our own beingness and being able to make logical decisions. Again, decision is deciding what ions best flow with you. Divisional ones, if they work for you, great. If they don't, then get unifying ones, right? We want to converge. One of the frameworks that will help you understand and take responsibility is that anytime that you are going outside of yourself and then judging somebody else, I want you to reframe your sentence and just put the letter I in front of it. So if you're saying that person is this or that, then bring that, reflect it back on yourself and say, I am that. And once you do that, it's going to be so powerful that you will feel it throughout your bones and throughout your cells that you're going to now have to make a decision. Take responsibility and better yourself, or keep blaming others for your existence, right? Stay in the enslaved system or be free. It's not always easy being free, but at least I'd much rather be free and then be enslaved, right? I'd much rather have freedom instead of security, or what they call security, which is just trading labor, more labor. You have to do more labor now because everything's gone up. So no, I want to be in an incentivized world, an incentivized mentality. So the I is not separate of that, the big that, T-H-A-T. Again, if you don't know what I'm referring to, go back to the other videos, the esoteric videos of understanding that and this. So the I is not independent. The I is the thou, the that. The I, the that, and the thou are all the same thing, right? It's just we are sharing consciousnesses. So my pure being is formed this shell, and this shell now has formed and now can create. Just like a robot can create another robot, I, a human, have created other humans, and those humans are going to go out and create other chains and parachains. So basically, you are the key to your own frequency, right? Key and frequency are the same thing. A key could be to unlock, but the key, your frequency, right? The note of the key of C is a note. It's a tone. Reverse that or anagram that word tone. It's a note. And so from that, we're able to then create our own song, our own verse. And the more you are able to do that, the more avenues you're going to open up to the universe that is giving everyone equally information. How you use it's up to the individual. If your framework is not open, if it's defended, then you're not going to hear any of this and you will be left behind, as we talked about before in videos. So if you want to open up, it's not a religion, it's not a belief system, it's just new energy. And so if you have new money, right, if all you were used to is debased currency and now you have real money, but your responsibility of blaming others, you're just going to use that money as a weapon now, not to help other people. Does that make sense? So you are the key to all this. It's just beginning to understand that you are the source, and you can tap into your higher source for any information, especially when it deals with cryptocurrency, because again, it's just electricity. I'm sure I'm just beating that note down, but you understand me by now. So anyway, we'll go to the influencer of the day, which is Lauren Elise Freeman. She's a local artist, and she's looking at putting her stuff as NFTs, but we'll put a link to her description. I don't have a picture of her. We'll edit it in just so you can see who she is later. But I think she's a brilliant artist. She's looking at bringing herself on NFT, and then y'all can, I'll give you a link to her email or whatever, and then y'all can give her feedback, and then give her feedback about her art. I think it's pretty awesome. So, and she basically calls herself the nomadic artist and a visual developer. So we're collaborating and looking at some stuff in the future, but I think if you look at her, she's an expressive soul, a young soul that's looking at taking a hold in the reins of her own note and creating her own destiny instead of living in an enslaved system. So hopefully that made a lot of sense to you today, guys. Definitely everything in crypto is going up right now, and I think we'll go into a super cycle into the future. I don't think until June of next year will we see anything, because Ethereum is going to be released out of people who have staked it. So you may have a sell-off, but at the same time, there's more. I think there's 85 million Ethereum being burnt per day, and someone can correct me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's about 85 million per day. So that's only causing a demand. And so come June of next year, when people release their staking, I think they're going to keep it. So I don't know that there's going to be a drop. And if it doesn't drop, then I think we're just going to go into a super cycle, and Bitcoin and everything's just going to keep going up and up and up. Will we have a traditional legacy financial crash in the stock market? Absolutely, and I think that'll happen around February. But Bitcoin and everything else is strong, and everyone's just coming over. JP Morgan, everyone, another bank, big bank came in today and said, hey, we're doing this. We're coming into crypto. So everything's changing, and so don't believe any of the negative news. Just stay positive on all this stuff, and then help others break into this new world of freedom. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. So like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll talk to you next time.